Welcome to medicinal biochemistry class on nucleic acid metabolism. So today we will learn biosynthesis of purine nucleotides. So at the end of this class, the student shall be able to explain de novo biosynthesis of purine nucleotides, explain biosynthesis of purine nucleotides by salvage pathway, explain Lesch-Nyhan syndrome, recall biological significance of antimetabolites. Okay, so there are two pathways by which these purines can be synthesized. Okay, one is de novo synthesis, where the synthesis begins with simple starting materials such as amino acids, ribose 5-phosphate, carbon dioxide, and a few 1-carbon units. So salvage pathway is like a recycling process where the nucleosides that are released by nucleic acid breakdown are recycled again. Okay, so they are used for synthesis of different nucleotides. Okay, so the de novo synthesis occurs in cytoplasm of the liver, small intestine, and thymus. The major site is cytoplasm of the liver. So there are three major steps that are involved in purine synthesis pathway. That is ribose 5-phosphate to inosine monophosphate synthesis. So, and then the next major step is synthesis of AMP from IMP and synthesis of GMP from IMP. Okay, so the sources of elements in de novo synthesis, so the different sources for the elements of purine nucleus is, that is glycine is going to contribute 2 carbons, that is C5, C4 and 1 nitrogen, and glutamine is going to contribute to 2 nitrogens, that is N3 and N9. So N-formyl tetrahydrofolate, so here referred as format, is going to contribute 2 carbons, C2 and C8, and aspartate amine is going to contribute 1 carbon, that is 1 nitrogen, that is N1, and bicarbonate is going to contribute 1 carbon, that is C6. Okay, so now we will look into the de novo synthesis, that is the first step of this de novo synthesis, conversion of ribose 5-phosphate to inosine monophosphate. Okay, let me clear this. So here this first step starts from ribose 5-phosphate, which is used as an basement. So there are 11 reaction steps to form purine nucleus on ribose 5-phosphate. So this occurs mainly in liver. Okay, so this is the first step. So that is the first step is activation of ribose 5-phosphate by phosphorylation. So here ATP is going to transfer 2 phosphate units to ribose 5-phosphate and it is converted to 5-phosphoribosyl pyrophosphate, referred as PRPP. So this reaction is catalyzed by ribose phosphate phosphokinase. So then glutamine will transfer amine group to PRPP, so to form 5-phospho beta D ribosyl amine. So here the pyrophosphate is released, that is in the form of inorganic pyrophosphate. So this reaction is catalyzed by PRPP amido transferase. So these two steps, that is step 1 and step 2, are going to control the whole pathway, the rate of whole pathway. So they are regulatory enzymes. So these are rate limiting steps. Okay, so in the step 3, glycine is going to add C4, C5 and N7. So this part of the molecule, glycine is going to add C4, C5 and N7 on 5-phospho beta D ribosyl amine. So here R, the alphabet R is referred to ribose 5-phosphate. Okay, in the further steps, so we are going to depict ribose 5-phosphate as R to make space to write the biosynthesis of purine elements. Okay, so here, so this 5-phospho beta D ribosyl amine is converted to glycinamide ribonucleotide. This reaction is catalyzed by glycinamide synthetase. We call this as synthetase because here this reaction requires ATP. Okay. So then this glycinamide ribonucleotide to this N-formyl tetrahydrofolate is going to transfer one aldehyde group. So this GAR, that is glycinamide ribonucleotide, is converted to formyl glycinamide ribonucleotide, FGAR. Okay, so this reaction is catalyzed by GAR transformylase. So in the next step, glutamine is going to transfer one more amine group, that is N3. So here again this requires ATP. So ATP is converted to ADP. So here formyl glycinamide ribonucleotide is formed. So this is FGAM. So this is catalyzed by FGAM synthetase. So further, this FGAM is converted to 5-aminoimidazole ribonucleotide. So that is, it will undergo cyclization. Again, this also requires ATP, and this is catalyzed by air synthetase. Okay, so here there is loss of water molecule. So here this OH and H is released in the form of water, and this undergoes cyclization to form imidazole ring. Okay. So in the next step, so bicarbonate is going to contribute to C6. So it adds carbon dioxide. So it converts air into carboxyaminoimidazole ribonucleotide, abbreviated as C-air. So this is catalyzed by aminoimidazole ribonucleotide carboxylase, that is air carboxylase. So this requires ATP. So in the next step, this C-air is converted to SAICAR. So here aspartate is added to this carboxyaminoimidazole ribonucleotide to form N-succinylo 5-aminoimidazole 4-carboxymide ribonucleotide. Okay. So this reaction is catalyzed by SAICAR synthetase. So this we refer this as synthetase mainly because it involves this reaction requires ATP. Okay, so the next step is removal of the fumarate molecule. So that has come along with aspartate. Okay, so that it can leave only the nitrogen group, N1 group, amino group. Okay, so fumarate is released. Okay, so this reaction is catalyzed by adenylosuccinate lyase. So it forms 5-aminoimidazole 4-carboxamide ribonucleotide, that is AICAR. Okay. So in the next step, AICAR, to this AICAR, one more formyl group is attached, contributed by N-formyl tetrahydrofolate to form FAICAR, that is N-formyl aminoimidazole 4-carboxamide ribonucleotide. So this reaction is catalyzed by AICAR transformylase. So in the final step, so this FAICAR undergoes cyclization to form the IMP, that is inosine monophosphate, which we call as inosinate. So with the loss of water molecule. Phosphate. So in summary, so alpha D ribose 5-phosphate is used as an basement. So this is converted, this is activated by phosphorylation. Further glutamine will transfer the amino group, then glycine will transfer 2 carbons and 1 amino group. Further N10 formyl tetrahydrofolate will transfer aldehyde group. So this will undergo cyclization, okay, to form imidazole ring. So from imidazole ring, so this is converted to, so then again that is AIR carboxylase will add carbon dioxide from bicarbonate. So then this, to this fumarate aspartate is added. So from aspartate, fumarate is released. Then again N10 formyl tetrahydrofolate will add one more aldehyde group. Then this will again undergo cyclization to form IMP. Okay. So then once this IMP is formed, it is immediately converted to AMP and GMP. So IMP, so to this IMP, aspartate is added. So this as from this aspartate again fumarate is released to form AMP. So this requires GTP as an energy source, and this IMP is converted to GMP by converting it to XMP, and so this here one oxygen atom is added at the second carbon atom, and this to this same the oxygen is replaced with amine group. So the amine group is contributed by glutamine, and this requires ATP. Okay, so biosynthesis of AMP requires GTP, and IM, that is GMP, requires ATP. Okay, AMP requires GTP and GMP requires ATP. Okay. So this once AMP and GMP is formed by the action of kinase enzyme and utilizing the ATP, these two molecules are converted to ATP and GTP. Okay, regulation. So as we have discussed, the first two steps are the regulating rate limiting steps. So what is the significance of this regulation? So this the significance is preserving the resources or conserving the resources. So the body needs should be met without wasting the biological resources. AMP and GMP will control the synthesis by feedback mechanism. So they block the first two steps. If AMP and GMP are in excess amount, so they block the first two steps of this de novo synthesis. Okay, so if AMP, GMP, GDP, GTP, or AMP, ADP, and ATP are in excess, so they block the first two steps, that is the ribose 5-phosphate for pyrophosphokinase enzyme and glutamine PRPP amidotransferase. So then they block the further nucleotide synthesis. Okay, so if excess amount of PRPP is present, this will induce amidotransferase enzyme. So this will result in synthesis of more amount of AMP and GMP. Okay. So more amount of GMP will also inhibit conversion of IMP to GMP, and more amount of AMP will also inhibit conversion of IMP to AMP. Okay. So ultimately the concentration of AMP and GMP is the deciding factor for the rate of de novo biosynthesis of purine nucleotides. Okay. So the salvage pathway, so purine bases are created by degradation of RNA or DNA, and intermediate of purine synthesis can be directly converted to corresponding nucleotides. Okay, so the significance of this salvage pathway is it will save the fuel, and some tissues and organs such as brain and bone marrow are only capable of synthesizing nucleotides by salvage pathway. Okay, so the two phosphoribosyl transferases that are involved in this salvage pathway are adenine phosphoribosyl transferase, so known as APRT, and HGPRT, that is hypoxanthine guanine phosphoribosyl transferase for biosynthesis of guanine and hypoxanthine. Okay, so this is the salvage pathway. Adenine is converted to AMP by the action of adenine phosphoribosyl transferase. So this requires PRPP. So and hypoxanthine is converted to IMP by the action of HGPRT, and guanine is converted to GMP by the action of HGPRT. In all these reactions, only the PRPP molecule is added to the nucleic acid bases or nitrogenous bases. Okay, so if there is a defect in the HGPRT or a lack of this HGPRT enzyme will lead to an metabolic disorder known as Lesch-Nyhan syndrome. So we will look into that. What is this Lesch-Nyhan syndrome? So this was first described in 1964 by Michael Lesch and William L. Nyhan. So if there is a defect or lack of HGPRT enzyme, so this will lead to sex-linked metabolic disorder which occurs only in males. and the rate of purine synthesis is increased about 200-fold in this case. Why? Because if there is a lack of this enzyme HGPRT, this will lead to elevated level of phosphoribosyl pyrophosphate sugar molecule. So this leads to more amount of de novo synthesis. This will increase the rate of de novo synthesis of purine nucleotides. Okay, so due to this, uric acid level rises, and this leads to the condition known as gout. Okay, in addition, so there is mental aberrations, that is the patient will mutilate his own self by biting lips and fingers, so that is he will cause damage to himself. Okay, so he'll have tendency to damage himself. Okay, so then formation of deoxyribonucleotide. Okay, so here, so the formation of deoxyribonucleotide involves a reduction of sugar moiety of ribonucleoside diphosphates, that is ADP, GDP, CDP and UDP. So here we are going to remove oxygen from the second carbon atom of the sugar molecule. So deoxyribonucleotide synthesis at the nucleoside phosphate level. So it happens at NDP level, that is nucleoside phosphate diphosphate level. Okay, so here you have the nucleoside diphosphate. Which nucleoside it is depends on the nitrogenous base that is present over here. Okay, so here conversion of NDP to DNDP is simply removing this oxygen. Okay, so this oxygen, so this reaction is catalyzed by, so here you can see, so the second carbon atom oxygen is removed. Okay, so this reaction is catalyzed by ribonucleotide reductase. This requires a thioredoxin and Mg plus ions as cofactor. Okay, so and NADP plus. Okay, so here, so the NDP is converted to DNDP by removing this oxygen, that is deoxynucleoside diphosphate, and this is converted to nucleotide, that is nucleoside triphosphate by the action of kinase enzyme. So here it requires ATP. Okay, so the next thing is anti-metabolites of purine nucleotides. Okay, so these anti-metabolites are useful in many disorders. Anti-metabolites are mainly competitive enzyme inhibitors. Okay, so these have structural similarity with that of the nitrogen bases of nucleotides, and they inhibit the biosynthesis of DNA, RNA. Okay, so here antimetabolites of purine nucleotides are structural analogs of purine amino acids and folic acids. They interfere, inhibit or block the synthetic pathways of purine nucleotides, and further they block the synthesis of DNA, RNA and proteins. So these antimetabolites are widely used to control cancer. So one such drug is 6-mercaptopurine. So this is an analog of hypoxanthine. So this is hypoxanthine and this is 6-mercaptopurine. The only structural difference is in hypoxanthine there is OH group, and in 6-mercaptopurine there is SH group. So 6-mercaptopurine, so this will inhibit amidotransferase enzyme, so block de novo synthesis of nucleic acids, and this also inhibits HGPRT, and this will block salvage pathway. This also inhibits conversion of IMP to AMP and GMP. Okay. So in summary to today's class, so the biosynthesis of purines happens by two pathways, de novo biosynthesis of purine and salvage pathway. De novo biosynthesis is regulated by feedback mechanism, and Lesch-Nyhan syndrome, metabolic disorder of purine biosynthesis, is due to lack of HGPRT enzymes. Okay, and antimetabolites are competitive enzyme inhibitors. These are widely used in the treatment of cancer. Antimetabolites of purine nucleotides. Okay, thank you so much. Happy learning.